With peace and love, if you know me in real life, don't watch this video. You're going to regret it. Non-stop Nut November. An unseemly challenge to disappoint your friends, your parents, and yourself. May God forgive us all. Wholesome channel? I don't know anyone by that name. There is a Twitter artist that I've run into. They seem to have a deep passion for the Fate franchise's fictional version of the historical figure Florence Nightingale. No, not the real one. Yeah, the fake one. Today's featured Twitter artist is HXD9585, or HexD. HexD's Twitter has a lot of hardcore copulation. Yes, fornication, specifically with Nightingale. It's extremely graphic, and there's an impressive amount of it too, each unique in their own heated circumstances. Despite being in black and white, the details of the hair, eyes, clothes, and different muscle parts make it clear that this is not the work of an amateur. But shockingly, this is not what I'm here to talk about. As compelling as the technical aspects of the art may be, what's brought me here is not mere eye candy and bodily pleasures. While most of their art is pure smut, I get the strange sense that there's some other emotion at play. A feeling that there's something beyond the physical intimacy. Something like, I don't know, a genuine bond and affection for Nightingale. Okay, hear me out. While they mostly draw Nightingale in compromising situations, HexD occasionally strews in these really cute moments with the main couple, where no sexuality is hinted at in the imagery. They hold hands, they caress each other's cheeks, they feed each other. This is not the art of someone purely focused on creating the raunchiest of depictions, but rather, it's the art of someone capturing the intimate beauty in a couple's affairs. There's a softness and gentleness to it that stands out to me. For story context, in Fate Grand Order, the game these characters come from, exaggerated manifestations of historical figures, gods, or even ideas can be summoned to help the player in their adventure. The version of Nightingale that we summon in-game seems to be the colder, darker side of her emotions that help Nightingale get through some of the hellish scenarios that she was historically put into, specifically from the Crimean War. This version of her is obsessed with hygiene and treatment to an unreasonable degree and is solely focused on her work. In a lot of ways, she's a broken manifestation who's lost a lot of her original self, and who we're left with is someone seemingly expressionless and numb. This is depicted in her gameplay as well. Nightingale is a berserker, a class type that is often functionally unreasonable. In-game, Nightingale is capable of healing and dishing out loads of damage, but is also extremely vulnerable to damage herself. Knowing this, I believe HexD has captured that emotionlessness and vulnerability in Nightingale with her lack of expressions. In fact, most artists do this, depicting her as stoic and cold. However, HexD took it into their own hands to draw her quietly happy and at ease in a meaningful relationship, while still maintaining her often distant demeanor. Perhaps this is strange of me to say, but I find it emotionally stirring and even a bit inspiring to see a character slowly erode their built-in barriers because of the presence of a loved one. As great as that is, what's made this all hit harder for me though, was when I researched the real historical Florence Nightingale. Nightingale never married anyone, and was believed to have remained chaste her whole life due to her relentless dedication to her career. She was the founder of modern nursing, and changed the once popular opinion that nursing was for the poor and uneducated in society. She reformed how hospitals worked, normalizing hygiene practices and caring for the physiological needs of patients. She was an avid writer and statistician that was able to organize unobjectionable data that led to improvements in medicinal and surgical practices. She used her wealth to fund the world's first nursing school, which still stands today and belongs to one of the leading universities in health services, policy, and research. Despite suffering from bipolar disorder and deep bouts of depression, Nightingale gave the world an unbelievable wealth of knowledge so that we could care for our loved ones. But this was not without personal sacrifice. Nightingale's biographer wrote, "In her own case, Miss Nightingale was conscious of capacities within her for high purposes for mankind and God. She could not feel sure that the marriage that was offered her would enable her to employ those capacities to their best and fullest powers. And so, she sacrificed her passional nature to her moral ideal." Nightingale sacrificed personal happiness for what she saw was her moral obligation to help the world. So, perhaps color me overly sentimental when I get emotional from a fictional depiction of Florence Nightingale in a relationship being treated with kindness and tenderness. Color me silly for putting this much thought into a pornographic artist. I know a lot of Hex D's art is crass and over-sexualized, but the few drawings they've made that are quiet, or silly, or romantic have moved me in a way that I can hardly put into words. Though, that is what art is for, isn't it? Hey, thank you so much for watching. I have a little bit more that I wanted to say real quick. I really like making these silly anime Twitter videos and drawing attention to both known and less known artists. If you know a Twitter artist that I should know about and should make a video on, follow and message me on twitter.com/AnnieKang. I'd appreciate it if you included what makes them unique or stand out in whatever way. I'm not just looking for good art, but wholesomeness, uniqueness, weirdness, something. I don't know, just something different. Safe for work and not safe for work artists are on the table. Hopefully more safe for work so that I can appease the algorithm gods. Anyways, that's all I've got. See you guys later. Bye.